or on your mat, just lying down. You can be in Shavasana shape or have your knees bent, any way that feels good. And just take a couple of breaths. Maybe an exhale out of your mouth, just arriving right here on this day, the end of November, or Yes-vember. Notice if there's any part or parts of your body that are holding tension that you could just let relax a tiny bit, maybe the jaw or your shoulders, even our hands. Sometimes we're holding, just allow everything to soften. I keep reading these things and getting this message of we have permission to not get caught up in the chaos of the season. It's tricky sometimes, but this is a lovely little story on perspective, and it is a practice like anything else. And you've probably heard it because I share it every so often. A villager lived in a small house with his wife, mother-in-law, 6 children, a cow, and some chickens. It was driving him crazy. So he went to the village rabbi and asked for help. The rabbi said that he could solve the problem. He advised the man to buy a goat. Overjoyed, the man immediately went out and bought a goat. Now he had a wife, a mother-in-law, 6 children, a cow, some chickens, and a goat. The house was even more chaotic than before. The villager returned to the rabbi and described the increased chaos. Once again, the rabbi said that he could solve the problem. He told the man to sell the goat. Obediently, the villager went home and sold his goat. Suddenly, all he had in his small house were his wife, his mother-in-law, his 6 kids, a cow, and some chickens. Things were positively peaceful without the goat. When you find yourself in a situation, excuse me, stand by. Well, now I have to sneeze. Watch your ears. Excuse me. So sorry. Dry weather. See if I can get through this. When you find yourself in a situation that could be made better if you were to step back and gain perspective, inhale gently, and on your next exhalation, say to yourself, sell the goat. I just love that, your perspective. Sell the goat. And check in with your body again, noticing any tension. Allow yourself to relax, and we'll take a few more breaths right here. Bring your hands to touch in front of your heart center. Grateful for our practice and for each other, for the holidays, for the goats, for the mother-in-laws, for all the things. Each breath an opportunity to come right to the present moment and to invite peace. Let's send some love out into the world from our hearts outward. Releasing your arms, you can draw your legs in toward your chest. Feel free to add pillows, take pillows away, just make yourself comfortable. And when you draw your knees in, you can be still, or you can gently rock side to side. Remember, if you have your arms situated in such a way, when you tilt, your upper arm will stop you from tipping over. So as you go side to side, you won't go too far because the arm will stop you. Coming back to center, bring your legs all the way together. Holding the legs together, make some circles. Give some love to the low back and your pelvis. Switch direction, keeping the legs together, maybe even the feet staying together. Pardon me, I have a very dry throat today. Coming back to center, let the legs reach up and bend. So knees straighten and bend. What is happening? I have a huge thread. Oh my goodness, let me hide that. That will bother me all during class. Straightening and bending the legs any amount. You can do one and then the other or both at the same time. And then again, one hand on each leg, and now we'll circle the legs away from each other. So not holding them together. Each leg making a circle. Switch direction. And let your legs come back together, and this time legs and arms floating up, resting bug. Excuse me, please circle your ankles and your wrists. Switching direction with your circles. And then finding stillness. Taking 3 full breaths here in resting bug. And bring your legs back down, arms back down. You can have straight or bent legs. You might take your feet wide and let your knees fall together, kind of a tripod leg, if that feels good. Bring one hand to belly, one hand to your heart center. And begin just observing the breath. You're not trying to make it anything specific. But watching your body breathe, and maybe feeling the rise and fall beneath your hands, but don't try to force it. And switch your hands. And just notice what it feels like to have. I usually do the same hands the same way every time. So switching it up and back to your breath, watching. Release your arms, bend your knees if they're not. We'll take left leg on top for thread the needle, and we'll stay with the low thread the needle for now. You can let your arms rest wherever they feel good, and the left foot will point and flex. Point and flex. And let your ankle rest. Scrunch the toes and spread the toes. Scrunching and spreading. Grateful for the toes. And let the foot completely relax. And you can allow this low thread the needle to move a little side to side if that feels okay. I'm just letting the legs shift a little bit side to side. So you can continue with that, or maybe it felt good just to be still. The last option I'll give is if you want to let this whole leg situation fall to the side, it'll become a twisty thread the needle combo platter. The right leg is on the ground. The left knee is up toward the sky. So it's exactly this shape of thread the needle, and then you let it go down to the side. Noticing the low back. When I go into this shape, oftentimes the low back comes off the mat. That's fine. But see if you're not in a giant back bend. Make sure that there's just some nice length. You'll feel a stretch kind of in the pocket area on the outer side of your left hip. And take a few deep breaths here. At the bottom of your next exhale, if you're in the twisty combo platter, just let the legs kind of unwind. Bring yourself back to center, knees bent, and we'll all switch sides. Right leg on the top of the left, keeping the left foot down, and we'll start with pointing and flexing, right ankle and foot. And let the ankle rest and go to your toes, scrunching and spreading toes. Allow your whole foot to rest now, and you can decide to stay still or let the legs do a little rocking gently side to side. Eventually, you may like to take the twisty thread the needle combo platter. So taking the legs all the way over your right knee toward the sky, and the left leg is just resting, laying down on your mat or on the bed. And checking in with your spine, a little extension, fine, but not a big back bend shape. If it feels like too much, you can always come out. The second side sometimes is not as exciting because the first side, we've already done it, so the nervous system knows what's coming. So oftentimes the second side will feel a little bit, I don't know, safer. I don't know if that's the right word I should use. Nice deep breaths here. At the bottom of your next exhale, allow the legs to just fall out of this shape. You can take your legs long, Take your arms out in a T. Big full inhale, maybe open your mouth for your exhale. We'll do 2 more breaths like that. Inhale and exhale. And draw your knees in toward your chest. And you'll decide here, actually, I should start here with your feet down. So you can cross one leg and then the other. We're going to work on the core, lifting the leg from your strong center. One leg and then the other, or the legs can be up in the air. And you might find this kind of thread the needle shape, and then you'll switch sides. Or you might have it cross, like you're sitting in a fancy chair with a fancy outfit. Each time the legs move, think about the front of the body, the ribs and the hip bones kind of coming together a little bit. Very strong in the center, like a little bracing. One more each way. And we'll start or pause with the left leg on top. You can keep your right foot down, or this time hold the legs in, holding the thigh or the shin of your right leg. Left leg on top, deep breaths, maybe an open mouth exhale. At the bottom of your exhale, slowly switching sides. Right leg on top. You can take whatever variation of thread the needle you want this time. Foot down or drawing the legs in. Perhaps a couple of breaths. Big exhale out of the mouth. Bottom of your exhale, releasing. You can keep the knees bent or stretch the legs out. We'll take one hand to belly and one hand to heart center. Checking in again, observing your body breathing. Gentle inhale and exhale. Maybe switch your hands. Releasing your arms out into a T. And you just allow the palms to turn down and then turn back up. So notice the movement. You can feel it even just in the forearms, or you can rotate all the way from the shoulder joint. Just a few more times. Palms will turn down. And just finding your range of motion. Feeling the forearms and up through the shoulder joint. And let your arms come down by your sides. You'll pick. I'm using my right hand because I'm right-handed, but you'll take one hand to your forehead. And you can try it with both hands if you want. I'm one and then the other, not both at the same time. So right hand is on my forehead, and I am going to turn my head gently to the left and then to the right. Try to allow your head to relax and let the arm and the hand do the work. You are moving the head with great love and care. You might feel nice warmth or energy from the palm of your hand to your forehead. And maybe you want to try with your other hand. I'm so right hand dominant. See? Very gentle. Gliding side to side. Bringing your head back to center. Bringing your arms into cactus arms, and we'll take a few rotations. Again, the shoulder joint, internal and external rotation. Pausing with the arms in the open shape, cactus arms. You can turn your head side to side or turn to one side and pause. If you're turning side to side, go slowly, no rush. Your legs can be bent or straight. Rolling to the other side, pausing. And coming back to center, hugging your left leg in. You can hold the shin or the thigh. And you can keep your right leg bent, or maybe you want to straighten it out. There's time. You could take a few breaths with the right leg bent, and then a few breaths with it straight. Allow your shoulders to relax. Full, easy breaths here. Two more breaths on this side. Then we'll switch, drawing the right leg in, holding behind the thigh or on the shin. Left leg straight or bent. Remember, there's time for both. Two more breaths on this side. Release the right leg. And yogi's choice. Can hug in the left leg again, maybe take it off to the side a little bit. Or if you'd like, you can take half happy baby. Holding your foot or the shin, anywhere that you hold is the perfect place. And then you can decide, Maybe you want to straighten the left leg. I'm sorry, the right leg. If that wasn't a good idea, you can bend it. Sometimes it feels like more balanced by actually opening the leg just a bit, that right leg. Find just the right place for you. Big breath in. Maybe open your mouth, exhale. And we'll release this first side. Switching sides, hugging the right leg in and deciding. You can just open the leg a little bit or have happy baby. They're just different. One is not better than the other. And then the left leg can stay bent. You can straighten it out. You can try a couple of breaths in each place. Big full in breath. And open your mouth, exhale, letting go, letting go, letting go. And then hugging both legs in. You can take the legs wide. You can hold them together if that's a better option. Or you can take full happy baby. Wherever you are, if it feels good to rock side to side, you can do that. Coming to stillness. Take 2 more breaths here. And again, resting bug. Let your legs and arms float up. You can stay still here, or this time add wide legs and arms and then back together. Just going to the place where you find that sensation of stretch, and that is plenty. You don't need to go past that. It's an active, but hopefully feels kind of nice. Like the limbs feel a little lighter when they're up like this. This is a good way to change perspective, just to get upside down. Last one. And bring your legs down and grab some pillows. We'll set up for Supta Baddha Konasana. So cushioning way up by your hip joint so that the thighs are supported, soles of the feet to touch. Now, because you're on your bed, some of you might, well, yes, I know you're on your mat, but if you want and you have an extra pillow, you could add a pillow behind your back. This one's a little too short. Back it up a little bit so my head is not falling off. So really this adds a little height, but it also feels like a little mini back bend, a little bit of an opening across heart center, just a little stretch. Your arms can be in Shavasana shape or in a T, maybe even in a cactus. And soften your gaze or close your eyes. And again, we observe our body inhaling and exhaling. Each time the mind wanders, you come right back, sell the goat. Come back to the peace of your breath. Notice where your attention is, keeping your awareness on each breath. And for the next several breaths, you might bring one hand to heart center, One hand to your belly. And you might decide to stay right here for your Shavasana. Otherwise, you'll begin to shift the legs, draw them together, and shift your props so that they are underneath your thighs. And if you're on a pillow, you'll want to come off that, but I'm going to give an option to take a pillow from your chest to your thighs, very grounding. And your arms by your sides, palms up or down, adding anything else you need to be comfortable for rest. Allow a little space between the top and bottom teeth. Let your whole face soften. And to deepen your breath. Notice your belly and your chest rise and fall. And if you have a pillow on top, you may want to take it off and wiggle your fingers and your toes. And reach your arms up and over, stretch through your whole body. And when you're ready, bending one knee and then the other, rolling to your side into fetal pose. Taking a few breaths right here on your side. As we let go of November and enter December with the idea of keeping perspective. Sell the goat. Maybe that means taking an extra breath, giving yourself a hug, or taking a nap. Have a cup of tea, whatever it is, remember to do it. Bring yourself up to sit. Bring your hands to touch in front of your heart. And bow your head in. Thank you for being here, for sharing your practice. Namaste.